All right, what's going on, everybody? So some exciting stuff happening right now. I want to give you guys this quick encouraging word. Now, I talk about some of these events that are transpiring, not in detail, but just as the Lord leads me, because a lot of us are on assignment right now to encourage, to uplift, and to exhort the body of Christ during this time, because God, He's working behind the scenes for a huge, just once in a lifetime event of clearing house, of dealing with wickedness, treason, just a lot of people at the top. And that's why we are in a state of an information war, for which even today, following the Andrew Tate stuff, a lot of the trending topics were regarding the Matrix. And so, of course, referring to just a lot of this facade going on. They're telling you what to believe, what history to believe, and all these things for which they're trying to play mind games with you to influence you in a certain frame of mind. And so this war that I call the information war, this war of your perception of reality, this is what we are dealing with in this hour. And so a lot of people are giving more attention to it. You have Elon Musk, you have Andrew Tate, and you have many other, I want to say, just celebrities, but also just the patriots and people that have a lesser presence online. But for many patriots and many other conservatives, they are slowly getting more and more attention. And so these are the things that the Lord is having some of us focus on, because it's an exciting time. And so many people will write this off as some wacky conspiracy and a lot of hopium, but this is the reality that we live in, because we are trying to awaken more and more people. And so even today, or through last night to today, if you haven't heard the big news of the grounding of airplanes all across the US, this is the first time apparently since 9/11. And because what they say as the failure of NOTAM. And so, I mean, these glitches, whether you want to believe it's even a hack or whatever this exterior story is. And again, I've told a lot of people in this awakening process that you need to be very careful what is being told at face value, because you have to really think about it for a second. If this is something bigger, some public national security issue that's going to affect many people, then you're not going to just have people come out and say, hey, we've been attacked, or this and this is going on. There's going to be some event at face value that is going to be the write-off excuse. And then there's something else that's going to be really what the truth is, but they're not just going to say it for the sake of the population, of riots or chaos, just panic, whatever that is, right? And so even if you track some of these things, right? So there's a lot of people that track these things. The first person that came to my mind is a guy that I watch from time to time who literally tracks military flights. His channel is Monkey Works, and I watched his recent video today, and just many others that have tracked these things. But an hour before the flights got grounded, these doomsday birds were deployed. You have literally, you can see these things: U.S. Air Force Night Watch, the Mercury, the Fairchild, the McDonnell, many other things, right? So these guys like Monkey Works and many others, they track flights. As soon as the grounding happened, you had all these refuelers, scrambling jets, fighters, all this activity that's very much outside the norm. And you wouldn't know this unless you track it, like some of these guys do every single day. And there's some flights, military planes, they don't have a tracker. It's turned off. And of course, for security reasons and for special operations reasons, many other things, right? But the point being that if you don't do homework, if you don't do research, and you follow some of these guys that, and again, this is not for everybody, but I'm saying that what they tell you and how you take it, whether at face value or something deeper, you have to question these things. If you sit there and you think, no, it's a NOTAM issue, and it could have been, but what else is going on? Was it a hack? Was it something else? And they're not going to go right out and tell you these things. And so this is why there's this process going on, whether it's the Matrix that's trending on Twitter right now among the normies and the general public, or whether it's other deeper things. If you follow some of the truth movement, this is the movement that's going on right now, is to expose and to bring to light the corruption, the treasonous acts, the wickedness that's going on, the satanic Luciferian movement that's happening right now. And it's a process to get people to get on the same page, to each their own, in their own process, in their own journey. And for many people, there's a denial phase. There's a phase for which, if you're not open to this stuff, then you're just going to write it off as some wacky conspiracy weirdo. So I get this all the time. Many people, they're like, dude, what are you doing? Why are you mixing politics and social stuff with religion? But this is the process for which God is using and calling many people in this awakening process, because you have been lied to, you've been told how to think, you've been told what to do, and many people, they've fallen for it hook, line, and sinker. So this is why a lot of people like myself are called to some of these movements. And of course, this is not digestible or palpable for everybody, but I'm giving a standard to some degree to say, hey, let's bring attention to this. And so that's why many people are saying things like, hey, it's the Matrix. It's all these things that you don't know. There's the deep state and the globalists and this movement going on. And a lot of people, they don't want to hear it because they can't fathom and believe that this kind of stuff happens behind the scenes. And so this is the movement that's going on that's part of the spiritual awakening process. And so yes, you can focus on Jesus, you can focus on these things, which you have to absolutely do. This is the fundamental stuff. But for many of us, we're being called to looking at certain things, whether it's flight tracking, whether it's news, whether it's discerning Q drops, whether it's discerning military documents, whatever that is. This kind of stuff is happening for a reason, because a lot of people are using this to get to know the Lord. And it may sound crazy. It may sound like, whoa, you're just mixing politics. But just like how if somebody goes through a divorce, if they go through relationship issues, and a lot of social workers and counselors are trying to counsel them, and that is the avenue for which they are turning to the Lord, this is also a process. The process of looking at health, education, political stuff, laws and rules, history books, whatever was told to you and taught to you, for you to then turn around and say, man, something is off about this. The news that's coming out, even with this grounding of planes, and they tell you, hey, believe it's NOTAM, this is the reason. Something is fishy and funny about it. And if you have any sense of discernment, you would look at that and say, you know what? It could be within the realm of possibility that something else is going on here than what they're telling you. So I say this because it's an exciting time, because a lot of things are happening. You got stuff in Congress that's coming up. You have a lot more of this exposure with these files on Twitter. You have many movements going on for which more and more people, they're looking at it and they're digging for themselves. No more are you, like I always say, read 2 or 3 articles and think you know something about something. You're doing your own due diligence and research, and you're waking up and you're realizing, more importantly, the spiritual war that's going on. But underneath that, as it's being manifested, it's the war of whether it's the globalists, the elitists, whatever it is, or the financial war, the poor, the rich, the middle class, all this stuff. Everything is a spiritual battle or part of a spiritual battle, and it's being manifested in this way. And so that's why it's important to educate and to be aware and be awakened to this process. But at the same time, many of us, myself included, and many other truth seekers, well, people call them patriots, researchers, whatever you want to call it, even prophetic voices, these people, they're telling you these things because it's a process for which, as a coping mechanism, as an encouragement, as a part of this anchor of you're using this to then pray, to then reach out, to then connect with other people. This is a movement that is a godly movement, and it's only being manifested in this way, in this time period right now. So just want to encourage you guys. A lot of people also prophetically saying that, hey, these flights are being grounded, and that you'll see military activity. I've also talked about military activity before in prophetic dreams and other words, and I believe as whatever is transpiring right now as we speak, if you're tracking these flights, whatever is transpiring, and again, it's not going to happen overnight, but whatever is happening, it's being done for good and for righteousness. And a lot of people that are behind the scenes working, they're not going to come out and just say, hey, we're fighting evil, but they're doing their work, they're playing their part, and it's a good time right now. It's a good movement for the people that are just everyday, ordinary guys, but at the same time, for everybody else working behind the scenes, whatever part they have, this is all happening for a reason, and it's a great time right now. So as more develops, guys, I will give you this word of encouragement and just more updates. But just know, this is why a lot of people are talking about this, because it's an awakening process to then lead to more spiritual growth. So exciting times, guys. God is really turning tables. He's always been there and doing different things, but it's just becoming more overt and more public as things go down. So 2023 is going to be great. This month is going to be great. And we are making progress in the sense of those that really are seeing it tangibly in the news and just as you see it with your own eyes. So love you guys. Be encouraged. Talk to you guys very soon.